Hi, my name is Joe Michaels. I'm Chief Revenue Officer at HaptX, and I'm delighted to be speaking to the audience at AWE Asia today. HaptX has worked for the last 9 years on haptic feedback technology that is super realistic. Feedback that is so real it can blur the difference between what is virtual and what is real. HaptX has offices in the United States, in California and Seattle, Washington. And we're very excited to share our presentation today. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So when you think of controllers for virtual reality, you probably picture plastic game controllers. But I'm here to tell you that the world's best controller for VR, the best controller ever invented, is, of course, your hand. It is the most natural, the most precise, and the very best way to use your hand as a controller in VR is to wear HaptX gloves. And on the screen, you see here the HaptX gloves DK2, our brand new product that we'll tell you about today. Now, why is touch feedback so important? Well, touch is absolutely fundamental to our experience as human beings. We use touch from the moment that we're born to sense what's real and to know what's real. And touch is comprised of a variety of modalities of feedback, such as tactile feedback, force feedback, vibrational feedback, and thermal feedback. And all of these combine to make the world around you feel satisfying, feel wonderful, and feel real. Now, when people hear about touch feedback and haptics, what they usually think of is vibration. And that's because vibrational feedback is quite common in devices and it can be useful in certain scenarios. So let me give you some examples. Let's say that you tap your phone screen and it buzzes to tell you every time that you press a key. Or let's say you play a video game and something in the game strikes your character, it hits you, so the game controller rumbles to symbolize that contact. Or when you wear most gloves in virtual reality today, the gloves will vibrate a little bit to symbolize contact and touch in the virtual world. But the thing that I want you to know is that touch is so much more than just vibration. When you touch an object in real life, let's say you pick up a little animal like a hedgehog, all the vibration in the world is not going to make you feel all of that hedgehog's little quills that are pressing into the skin of your hands. That pressure is tactile feedback, and it's a critical touch modality that is far more important for realistic touch than vibration. And then there is force feedback. Let's say you pet a cat and your fingers grip the animal's head gently. And when your fingers stop when they reach the edge of the object so that you can feel the size and shape of the object, like that cat's head, that's force feedback stopping your fingers. And that is also vitally important for realistic haptics. Now, the touch feedback that we offer with our HaptX gloves combines super precise tactile feedback and very precise force feedback. And what I want to show you now is the patented microfluidic technology that we have inside our HaptX gloves. This is a close-up of a silicone material that we invented that can channel compressed air through tiny tubes inside the material to activate actuators on the surface that you can see here rising and falling with amazing precision. And when your hand is placed against this material, if you want to simulate the feeling that you are touching an object in the virtual world, these actuators can move and displace your skin physically with amazing realism and precision. So your skin is moving the same way it would be moved if you were touching an object in the real world. So what that offers you is what we call true contact haptics. And inside each HaptX glove, there are 133 of these actuators, and they are strategically placed across the fingers and the palm of your hands, and they move your skin to simulate the feeling of true contact. Now, this advanced tactile feedback makes HaptX the only haptic glove in the industry that can offer realistic touch feedback instead of simple vibration. And HaptX gloves also offer the strongest force feedback on the market. We can apply up to 40 pounds of resistive force per hand to stop the movement of your fingers in exactly the right place and help you feel a virtual object size and shape. And we can also track your fingers with more accuracy than other haptic gloves because we use a unique electromagnetic motion capture system that tracks 30 DOF per hand with sub-millimeter precision. So many of our customers are using HaptX gloves as part of virtual reality training programs to do what seems almost impossible, which is to build real and natural muscle memory in VR. Here's a surgical student wearing a HaptX glove on his right hand, and I want you to notice how precisely in the VR environment he can feel things. Look at the cavity of the bone he drilled, the skin tissue around it. He's feeling that. And when you are training an osteopathic surgeon or a nurse or a medic in the military, they have to interact very precisely with these things, and they require HaptX gloves with true contact haptics to be sure that the hands repeatedly learn the right activities. And almost any skill that depends on your hands can be trained in VR with HaptX gloves. I want you to watch how accurately this VR user can interact with the virtual environment. They can push buttons, she can flip switches, use tools, really anything that she's doing with her hands feels realistic. And with VR training, she's repeating these activities correctly and building fine motor skills and gross motor skills, and her hands and body will move to exactly the right locations in the right way when she's completed the training and she's in the real world. Now, other customers of HaptX are using HaptX gloves for design. And the idea is to feel the design you're creating for tomorrow today. So here is a designer wearing HaptX gloves, and look how precisely he can interact with the 3D model of a Nissan vehicle. Nissan is one of our longtime customers. And you can see the interaction with a touch panel or with other controls of the car. These are 3D models. They don't exist in real life, but you can interact with them realistically. And you can feel how well they work. You can feel how well they're designed. Are they safe? Are they ergonomic? Are they comfortable? And because of HaptX gloves, you can now judge your designs very early in the design process without having to go through all of the expensive physical prototyping that costs car makers so much time and money. Being able to feel your designs well before they've been manufactured and prototyped is truly exciting for not only automakers, but makers of all kinds of large-scale products. So this is what companies like Nissan and others around the world are doing with HaptX gloves in the design space. And we have learned, and many of our customers have also learned, that HaptX gloves can be used for telerobotics. And the idea here is by wearing the gloves, you can operate the hands of a robot with incredible dexterity and at any remote distance. Now, I'm sure you have noticed that as humanoid robots have been built around the world, like this Chinese robot, more and more of them have humanoid hands. And those hands are expected to interact very properly with objects like a can or anything in the world. And AI is not advanced enough yet to perform many of the most important robot tasks, especially when robot-human interactions are required. So this is HaptX's solution. You can wear HaptX gloves, and they're paired here with our tactile telerobot to feel on your hand what the robot hand is feeling in real time. Those sensors on the fingers, the fingertips of the robot, transmit the sensor data to the haptics gloves. So every motion that you make controls the robot precisely, and you're feeling in real time what that robot feels. So you can now get a robot to perform incredibly advanced, dexterous, human type procedures and tasks with incredible naturalness and at any distance. That's the other thing. You can control these robots from across the world and get the same level of precision. And the safety of human robot interactions has risen dramatically. We had a great experience where the famous Amazon ex-CEO Jeff Bezos tried our gloves with this tactile telerobot and seemed to have an excellent, almost hilarious experience. This is what it looks like when you're wearing haptics gloves and you're in a virtual environment and you walk through the demo that comes standard with haptics gloves DK2. You can pick up objects in your environment and just start using them, like writing your name or any word you like, and you can feel anything. It could be the bonsai tree, or you can just open the furniture and start picking things up. It's a remarkable feeling when you're wearing haptics gloves and all you're doing is interacting naturally with your environment the way you do in the real world. And one thing we like to do, as I mentioned earlier, is let you interact with animals. This cat feels really good as she purrs in your hand. And what we want to show you in this demo is how naturally you can interact with an environment. Like, for example, this airship. This is a blimp, and you are able, wearing haptics gloves, to take the controls and steer it. You get to drive it, take it wherever you want it to go, and all of the controls feel natural. Everything works correctly. It's quite an experience to be in a VR environment where everything feels natural and real. Even things like steam coming out of a valve or drops of water that hit your hand. It's remarkable. And one of the great things about our most recent product is you've got room scale mobility. You can wear the product on your body and move throughout a space. And so to test this, we encourage you, the user, to go down to the engine room of this airship and repair it. We will walk you through a training exercise so you are learning in real time, wearing haptics gloves, how to interact with your environment and how to repair your airship. And you learn to use the tools, you learn the processes, and you learn the skills all in real time, and it feels realistic. So you not only learned about what you need to do, you learn how to do it. And that's the promise of haptics gloves. The last thing I want to show you is how we have networked different users in a VR environment. And if they're all wearing haptics gloves, they can interact with each other physically in VR for the first time. So when they grab an object and pass it back and forth, it lands correctly, the physics and haptics work properly, and they can collaborate in a way that is unique and powerful because they're working together on the same objects at once. And not only are they working on objects and reviewing them together, but they can interact with each other as humans, which is a lot of fun in VR. You can now be with your colleagues and your friends and loved ones in VR and be together physically, which is really exciting. So I want to say thank you very much to the AWE Asia team for including HaptX in this year's event. I hope you found this information useful. For more information from HaptX, I have put 2 Twitter accounts at the bottom of your screen, @JoeMICH and @HaptX. We would be thrilled for you to follow these accounts and learn what HaptX is doing. And you can always visit our website, haptx.com, for more information. Thank you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.